Welcome back to Hindu Infopedia. This is part 1B of our series on The Great Deception. In part 1A, we saw how the New York Declaration for the Future of Generations used lofty language like future generations and block voting discipline to manufacture the illusion of global consensus. Now, in part 1B, we turn to the actors on stage, the New York Declaration proponents, France and Saudi Arabia, two nations with starkly contradictory records, were chosen as co-chairs. Their partnership reveals the hypocrisy and legal theater at the very heart of this declaration. France presents itself as a champion of human rights and anti-colonial values. Yet it still holds overseas territories across 5 continents, from New Caledonia to French Guyana, with little consultation of local populations. Despite this colonial legacy, France positioned itself as a moral authority, condemning Israel's occupation. The contradiction deepens when we examine France at home. The nation that lectures others on governance has created over 750 sensitive urban zones, where French police struggle to enforce law and order. These zones, predominantly Muslim, see recurring riots, anti-police violence, and parallel systems of authority. Demographics have shifted dramatically. France's Muslim population has grown from about 3% in 1990 to more than 10% today, reshaping electoral politics in its major cities. In Marseille, Lyon, and suburbs of Paris, routine unrest and legal parallelism go far beyond anything in Israel's disputed territories. France's case demonstrates how the fastest-growing religion in Europe leverages demographics to bypass democratic norms, while the same state lectures Israel about democracy and minority rights. If France represents hypocrisy through contradiction, Saudi Arabia represents it through outright absurdity. This is a country where conversion from Islam carries the death penalty, where non-Muslims cannot build places of worship, and where women's rights activists are jailed. Yet Saudi Arabia, one of the world's most systematic enforcers of religious apartheid, co-chaired a declaration condemning others for human rights violations. In Israel, by contrast, Arab Muslims hold seats in parliament, serve on the Supreme Court, and hold leadership roles in the military. The irony grows sharper when we consider economics. France is one of the largest arms exporters in the world, while Saudi Arabia, a tiny monarchy of 35 million people, is one of the world's largest arms buyers. Together, they formed an alliance to lecture the world on peace and justice. Saudi Arabia's concern for Muslim suffering is highly selective. It amplifies the Palestinian issue while remaining silent on the Uyghur genocide in China, the Rohingya massacres in Myanmar, the 500,000 Muslims killed in Syria, and the persecution of Ahmadiyas in Pakistan. The silence is not religious solidarity. It is politics. The New York Declaration itself is non-binding. Under Article 10 of the UN Charter, the General Assembly can only make recommendations. Yet the declaration's text is filled with legalistic words, calls upon, demands, urges, deliberately crafted to give the impression of binding law. Media coverage amplified this illusion. Major outlets like BBC, Reuters, and CNN consistently omitted the fact that the declaration was non-binding, portraying it instead as international judgment. This transformation of meaningless votes into perceived law is not an accident. It is a key mechanic of the Great Deception. The reality becomes clear at the UN Security Council, where only binding resolutions can be passed. Here, the 5 permanent members, PASCAT, the US, Russia, China, France, and the UK, hold veto power. The US response to the declaration was clear. It opposed the resolution as one-sided, failing to acknowledge Hamas's terrorist attacks or the need for real peace. This means the declaration, no matter how celebrated at the General Assembly, has no enforceable power. It exists purely for political theater and media consumption. The New York Declaration proponents, France and Saudi Arabia, reveal how hypocrisy and selective outrage can be dressed as global morality. Their partnership ensured automatic bloc support, Western legitimacy, and the appearance of consensus. But peel away the rhetoric, and what remains is only theatre. This was part 1B of our series on the Great Deception. In part 1C, we will examine the broader historical pattern, from Resolution 3079 to the Durban Conference, and how media synchronization sustains the illusion of consensus. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and visit hinduinfopedia.com to read the full blog and continue exploring this critical series.